Hey everyone! In this video, I have 12 more hidden areas, things, and interactions for you, from all 3 acts. Everything is timestamped below, so feel free to jump around as you like. Also, a big thank you to everyone who commented about some of these areas in my previous videos. Starting in Act 1, in the Druid's Grove, you want to make your way to the Sacred Pool. Head straight across from the entrance towards the southeast. As you make your way down this path, you will find a rock you can move if you have a high enough strength. Under it, you will find the Amulet of Silvanis, which will let you cast Lesser Restoration once per short rest. While you are here, I also recommend using a potion of animal speak and talking to the bear for some interesting dialogue.
Master, he left with the weaponed 2 legs. He said he'd be back.
Next, you want to head down to the Harpies. Starting from the Sacred Pool again, make your way down the pathway to the east, and then head down towards the water. You can choose either pathway to get there. Once you reach the water's edge, you will see a child entranced by some Harpies. Do your best to save him and kill the Harpies. This will gain you some favor with another child named Mole. You can get a ring of protection from her. I have a video linked about that below. Once you have killed the Harpies, follow the water around, jumping and climbing up to this rock over here. This is the Harpie's nest, and in it you can find the Ring of Color Spray, which will let you cast that once per short rest. Up next is the Smugglers Ring, a ring that gives you a +2 to stealth and sleight of hand, but a -1 to your charisma. To find it, head north of the Blighted Village to this location on your map. A well-hidden skeleton right here has the ring. Now heading to the Arcane Tower in the Underdark here on your map. Head to the 3rd floor and pick up the Roads to Darkness book off the desk here, and then the torn out paper from right here. Now head up to the top floor and speak to Bernard using the dialogue options you get from those 2 items. Bernard will now give you a hug. Oddly, you are always too short or too tall for it. I tried a few times with different disguises, but it never seemed to be just right.
His arms are too tight and too low for a comfortable hug, as if he's meant to be embracing someone slightly shorter.
While you are here on the top floor of the Arcane Tower, head over to the northeast corner and break this stool. It gives you the Club of Hill Giant Strength, which will increase your strength to 19.
Fine weapon.
Now heading on to Moonrise Towers in Act 2. From the main entrance, head over to the east and climb up the roots. Then using Fly or someone with a big jump, head over to this ladder and climb up. Then jump over to this platform and climb up the roots. It will be kind of cloudy up here, but you want to continue around jumping to this platform, and then heading around the tower until you come across 3 winged horrors. They have some amusing dialogue, and you can convince them to fight themselves if you like.
No. Get away!
Now you can climb down to this area over here. You can find some various items in the chest. And if you break down this wall, you can gain access to the 2nd floor without having to pass by Kethrick. Up next, on the main floor of Moonrise Towers, head over to Araj, in the room over here. You may recognize her as the lady who gave you a potion to boost your strength permanently with Asterion. However, if you talk to her with Gale first, or I assume any wizard, you will have some additional dialogue options. Through this, you can either accept her bribe of 200 gold and continue as normal, or threaten to expose her. But as a warning, if you do threaten her, she will run away, and you will miss out on all her Act 2 traits. The next hidden area is on the 2nd floor of Moonrise Towers, in Balthazar's room. The best way to get here is either from the outside, using the door you passed on your way to the winged horrors, although the door is a very hard lock to pick, or by heading up the stairs and then into this area to the east. Make sure no one is around, including the scrying eye, and then pick the lock on this door and head in. In here you can find several different good items. But what you want to do is pick up the heart off this desk, then head over to the bookshelves on the west wall. You want to select the musty tomes. Choosing anything else will set off various traps. Once you select the correct books, you will be able to interact with this altar. Insert the heart you picked up, and the bookshelves will open up, revealing Balthazar's secret lab. In here you will find the Cold Brim hat, but more importantly, if you have Gale with you, you can have him interact with the ritual circle over here. You will have two options. You can either destroy the circle, which will give Gale Mistra's Benevolence Blessing. This gives him advantage on concentration checks until a long rest. Or you can craft a shadow lantern using a broken lantern and a dead pixie that are found here. Once you craft the lantern, you want to equip it, and then it will let you cast Conjure Shadow Wraith once per long rest. This Wraith will be just like any other summon, and has a couple very powerful attacks, so I think it's well worth it. Next, over in Kethrick's room, right here on the map in Moonrise Towers, if you speak to his dog using a potion of animal speaking and have Scratch's ball in your inventory, you will get a special dialogue.
Do you take me for a teething pup? Get that out of my face.
Up next, you want to head into this bedroom in Moonrise Towers. You can choose whatever entrance you like, but whatever you do, don't get too close to this chest, or it will turn into a mimic. What you need to do is destroy the chest in one turn before it changes into a mimic. The best way I have found to do this is by moving a stack of about 6 smoke powder bombs next to it. Ideally, using an invisible mage hand or an invisible character so the chest doesn't change. And then shoot the smoke powder bombs with an arrow. If you manage to destroy the chest in one hit, it will drop the Spine Shudder Amulet, which will deal 2 turns of reverberation anytime a spellcaster hits someone with a ranged spell attack. You can now loot the mimic's body as normal. As a warning, if you don't destroy the chest in one hit, or it turns into a mimic before you can attack it, you won't be able to get the amulet. My last Act 2 hidden interaction and item is down in the Mind Flayer colony. This is kind of a two-parter with several good items and a buff. You want to head down to the southeast area past the battle with the zombies. In this room right here. You are now faced with the brain puzzle. I'm not going to show you the solution, but it could be easily looked up if you don't want to figure it out by yourself. Once you solve it, head into the new room that opens up right over here. You can interact with the wall for a cutscene. And over here you will find the Blade of Oppressed Souls, which is a +2 longsword with extra psychic damage. It also has a special attack, dealing even more psychic damage, as well as casting Crown of Madness on your target. And over on this skeleton, you can also find the Circlet of Mental Anguish, which heals you if an enemy fails a slaving throw against one of your cantrips. And the Brain Drain Gloves, which will inflict mental fatigue on your target when you deal psychic damage. Next, you want to pick up the Waking Mind right here. Once you have the mind, head out of the room past the brain puzzle and over to the west into this room over here. You want to insert the Waking Mind into the Mind Archive interface, and then talk to the head. It will offer you a deal. It wants you to kill it in return for a permanent buff.
Use your tadpole. It raised me, and I will pass my technique on to you.
Going through with the deal gives you the Githzerai Mind Barrier, which gives you advantage on intelligence saving throws. While you are here, you can put in every other mind jar you have found, and interact with each one for some fun dialogue, including the ones you found on the Mind Flayer ship at the very start of the game. But be warned, you need to bring them all with you, as you cannot leave this area once you enter it.
At the very moment you do.
For my final hidden area, head to Act 3 in Cazador's dungeon. You need to get to the bottom floor. You can either jump, fly, or use Misty Step to get down. I recommend just sending one person, ideally someone with a high lockpick skill, to get down, then head over to this location. You want to pick the lock and exit the area, then head right back in. Now you will have your entire party with you. Now you want to head over to this area. If you pass a perception check, you will find a mound to dig with a trapped casket inside it. Inside the casket, you find the Pelorsun blade, which is a +1 rapier that does extra radiant damage and has advantage against undead. To leave this area, you can go back out to the sewers or head over here and hit this button. The button activates a cage elevator type thing, which you can use to get back up to the top level. Well, that's all I have this time. I hope there was some new things for you. Let me know in the comments if you got all this already or not, and please let me know if I missed anything. As a side, I have also started playing Dragon's Dogma 2, so I will have a couple videos on that coming up. And I may also do a couple live streams of Baldur's Gate 3, playing Honor Mode. I don't suspect it will last long. I'm specifically choosing a class I have never played before, and it will be my first Honor Mode run, and my first Evil run, so a bunch of stuff will be new for me. But if you're interested, you can either join me for that, or watch it after the fact. I'll post more details on that and when it will be on the community tab. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.